Konnichiwa. Hello, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the LYS Beauty Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I also have the blush and bronzer here, and we're going to test this out in conjunction with the foundation and see just how it does. Now, if you guys are new here or you enjoy my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you know when I upload my videos. And as always, my disclaimer, if you are super sensitive to profanity or if you are easily offended, this is definitely not the place for you. I mean, no filter bitch, and I have no idea what's gonna come out of this mouth, so keep that in mind while you're watching. So if you guys are interested in the LYS Beauty products as the foundation and bronzer and blush, then just stay tuned. Alright, today I know I'd be looking crusty and shitty as hell, but I could not be bothered to do my hair. I did my hair last night and it has been really just difficult trying to find the right products for my hair all over again, because where I'm at, there's a lot more humidity than where we lived before, and so my hair just cannot be bothered. So it's like half wavy, half flat. We just be looking crusty as hell today. So let's get right into this. I have been so excited to review this. I have been eyeballing it for the longest time, and the thing about this is it took for fucking ever for everything to come into stock. I waited for the longest time just for the foundation to come into stock, but the blush and bronzer, it took about 3 months for these shades to come in, and I was going back and forth between Sephora and the LYS Beauty website, and Sephora was able to restock them faster. So I got everything from Sephora. Now I'm going to pull up some information about each of the products before we get into them. I have already primed and prepared my face. I use the Smashbox Primerizer, which is something that I use for almost all, if not every single foundation review that I do. Now this comes in 35 shades, and the shade range, you guys, is absolutely beautiful. This retails for $22 and I absolutely love the price point. I did first purchase LG3, the shade, but it was a little too dark, and as you can see, my skin is getting a lot more yellow undertone out here, but I got the shade LG1. The thing that I love about this is not only is it $22, but it comes with 1 fluid ounce, which is typical for any foundation. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open this up because I can't stand like it moving around in the carton. I do like the packaging. It's really different from most packaging because instead of a round circle bottle or square, it is a triangle, and I actually really like that. I love the packaging of this because of the frosted glass, and the cap is just like, I love the shade of this. Like, I just like everything about it. It's a rose gold kind of cap, and I really like it. This is a luxuriously clean skincare infused serum foundation with buildable light to medium coverage in an array of shades. Now for the coverage, it says medium, finish is natural, formulation is liquid. I don't really like how Sephora does their things because it tells you like what it is and then the highlighted ingredients, and then it finally goes into like what the actual product is. So I apologize. Now it says this formula will satisfy your skincare and foundation fix at the same time. Formulated with ashwagandha, hyaluronic acid, and turmeric, this customizable clean foundation reduces the look of dark spots, pores, imperfections, and fine lines while highlighting your skin's natural radiance. It's also fragrance and silicone free. Thank you, LYS Beauty. I like the fact that this is silicone free because I feel like most foundations that have silicone in them don't work very well for my skin. Now I'm going to shake this because it has been sitting here for a good while. I have just been collecting things to review over time. I'm just going to pump this on the back of my hand. Ooh, okay. Wow, that is a very liquidy consistency. Look at that. Ooh, okay. So that is very much like a serum foundation, which I am not opposed to. I do like these kind of lighter consistencies because I find that these tend to not cling to dry patches as much as thicker formulas. So I am just gonna go right in. So I'm just gonna take some on the sponge here, and we're just gonna apply this to, I guess, this side of the face. Now again, I have already primed and moisturized and done all that good stuff, and ooh, I didn't. Okay, so yes, it is absolutely fragrance free. I don't smell really anything weird or funky on there. Wow. Right off the bat, I actually really like this. I love the feeling because I know it's called a serum foundation, but it actually feels like a serum going on. That's kind of strange. It's like a serum with a little bit of pigment, and I'm really liking that. I really like the way it's going on the skin. It kind of even absorbs like a serum, which is kind of crazy to me. Wow, this is probably one of the lightest like consistency foundations I've ever put on my face. Look at that glow. My skin looks so freaking healthy, and I feel like the shade match is pretty spot on. Look at the difference. Like this side just looks like my skin, but 10 times better, because you can still see like some of my, what are these called? They're not called beauty marks. They're called, I don't know, moles, whatever you call them. But you can still see these, which I don't really mind, but it's toned down my redness a lot. As you can see, I have a lot of redness going on today, especially on my forehead. I feel like I'm really, really going to like this, but I'm just praying and hoping that this wears well, because it, oh my God, look at that. It looks so freaking gorgeous on the skin. This is the ideal skin. This is what I wish my skin would look like all the time, but we just don't have that luxury. All right, so that was one full pump, and it did the whole side of my face over here. Noted that is a dry sponge, so the sponge is going to absorb a little bit of the product. But I got another pump here, and I'm just gonna go in with my flat top kabuki brush that you guys always see me use. Normally I use the Sigma F80 airbrush, I think, lately, but that's more for thicker consistency foundation, just because I have been liking a more lighter coverage, which I never thought I would say that, but my skin has been looking a lot better. Whoa, holy shit balls. Okay, so with the brush, you're gonna get a lot more coverage. I was not expecting that. Holy moly. This is the side with the sponge. This is the side with the brush, and we are getting like medium coverage. Now that I'm taking a closer look, the brush application is really not as good as the sponge application. It's got a lot of, well, it's emphasizing a lot of my texture and a lot of the dryness on the sides of my nose. And I feel like the brush is kind of picking up more on the dryness than the sponge did, even though the sponge was dry. So I'm not really sure I even particularly like the brush application. I'm gonna scoot up closer so you guys can see. This side is the brush side, and it's picking up a little bit of my dryness, but not too much. I mean, you guys have seen other foundations and it looks worse than this. The dryness usually looks worse, and around my nose it looks a lot cakier. Now on this side, the dry sponge side, it's not as dry and cakey looking as the brush side. So I'm not really sure. I feel like this applies a lot better with the sponge because it's not picking up all the texture and the dryness on your skin. Now, one thing that I was reading on like the little description is that if you do want this more matte, or if you have oilier skin, you do want to set this, but it, you know, says that you should set it with their powder, which I totally understand. But I am more on the dry side, you guys know this, so I'm probably not going to be setting the whole thing, especially because I'm going to be going in with a cream blush here soon. But this is such a beautiful foundation. Oh my God. It's really not clinging to any of my dryness, although it is creasing a little already in my like frown lines. But you know, what can you do? It's a lighter consistency foundation. Now I'm just going to take whatever is left on the back of my hand and add some coverage to the sponge side. I may actually just take the sponge and kind of go over the brush side to make it a little bit more even. So I blended out the rest of the foundation and I put on some concealer. I used the Ulta Beauty, oh my God, where is the writing? The Youthful Glow Concealer. I really, really like this, especially if you have dry skin. It really brightens up the under eye. As you can see, I still have a little bit of sunkenness showing through, but I really like it because it's not too full coverage, and it's great if you have dry under eyes. The next thing we're gonna go into, because I want to do this while the foundation is still, you know, fresh, I'm gonna go in with the Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush. I actually opened this when it came in because I was just so excited to finally have the blush and the bronzer. You guys, I waited like 3 months for these shades to come in, and that's not an exaggeration. I just love the packaging. Look at how beautiful it is. It's like a very pretty rose gold slash kind of like with a hint of copper, and it is just, look at that. Look at that shade. Now, there are 6 shades of this blush, and I have the shade Self Love, and I just, oh my God, you guys, the packaging, I fucking melt. This retails for $16, which I think is a decent price point, especially with the foundation being $22, and how fucking beautiful it looks on the skin. For the details, a clean, high pigment, non-greasy satin matte blush with a buildable creamy formula that gives skin a natural flush. Give your cheeks a kiss twist of color with this cream blush that delivers high payoff for all skin tones. Packed with clean, skin-loving ingredients like kaolin clay and avocado oil, this multi-purpose cream leaves skin looking refreshed. Rich in pigment, this blush adds the finishing touch to any look. Now, it kind of sucks because their bronzer is powder, but their blush is cream, so I'm going to apply the blush first. I was reading the best way to apply this, and it says a blush, brush, or your fingers. I am not someone who likes to use my fingers very much for any kind of makeup application because I am kind of like a child, so it looks like finger painting for me. I'm actually going to do one side with a blush brush because that's what it said to do, and the other side with a wet sponge because fingers, I just don't trust myself with the fingers. We're just gonna go in with this cream blush. First, let me do like a, ooh, okay, that's weird. That is the shade Not Blended Out, and then you can see around it I've kind of patted it out to see like what really the shade is like, but this is basically it blended out, and I really like the shade. It's very light, but it also says that you can build it up, so that's a great option to have. So here goes nothing. I'm just going to, ooh, I'm so scared. There's definitely pigment on the brush. I don't know if you guys can see that tint of pink, but I'm just gonna put a little bit more because, yeah, you know, go big or go home, I guess. Whoa, okay, you can definitely see the pigment, especially with that black background. Okay, here goes nothing. I am so terrified. Ooh, okay, so it's not that bad. It's really not that bad because I feel like this is going to be very easy to blend out. Holy shit balls, though. This has a lot of pigment, so I'm just bringing it up here. Whoa, this is pretty, though. Look at that. Holy shit, that's really pretty. It's really pigmented, but I really like this shade. I'm just gonna kind of bring it up to my nose here because there's a lot going on pigment-wise. This shade is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's super pretty. Look at that. It gives me like a very nice flush to the skin. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's really pretty. I may be really into this cream stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the other side with the brush because now that I know it works and it blends beautifully even with a brush. The fact that it's so easily blendable too, I'm really shocked because that's one of the things that really kind of intimidate me about cream products is like, is it going to blend properly on my foundation? Is it going to blend away the foundation? Is it going to look patchy with the foundation? I'm always worried about those kinds of things with cream products because you just never know how they're going to work. I kind of went a little ham with the blush here. Clean this up with some foundation. This is a whole new world for me right here, but I really like this. It looks really good. Let's move on to the bronzer guy here. This is called the No Limits Matte Bronzer. I like the fact that it's matte. This has 5 shades and this is $18. So I really, again, like the price point of that. Now the shade I got is Motivate, which is the lightest shade. And you guys, again, with the fucking packaging, it is so freaking beautiful. Here it is with all my little fingerprints on it, but again, we got this beautiful rose gold packaging. So for this one we have kind of like a frosted rose gold, and this one we have like a chrome rose gold, and it's so freaking gorgeous. Look at that bronzer. It is absolutely beautiful. And the packaging, you guys, I love the fact that there's a mirror in here, and the mirror is actually a very nice, decent size. There is a little magnetic circle here, and it just has that like very satisfying like click to it. I really like that. It says sculpt, define, and warm up your complexion with this matte bronzer. The ultra velvety buildable powder effortlessly blends while delivering a sun-kissed glow. Formulated with niacinamide, this bronzer gives skin the warmth you want while blurring the look of imperfections and texture. I love the fact that there's niacinamide in here. The whole thing about this line is that everything has some kind of skincare ingredient, which I just love. So I am actually just going to apply this directly to the face, and I want to see how it does. I'm actually going to start on this side here, but I'm going to use the same brush that I did with my cheeks, and we're just gonna tappity tap. Ooh, okay. I have found that this is not very powdery at all. Like, there's no fallout in the pan, and you can see that I did grab quite a bit, and I'm just going to lightly sweep this across. Wow, okay, this is pigmented. All of these need like one tiny little boop, and it's just super pigmented. Wow, Look at how much warmth that brought to my face just instantaneously. Wow. This just looks so freaking gorgeous. This bronzer looks really, really good. It's blended so beautifully on the skin. There's no patchiness, there's no dryness, there's no lifting of the foundation. It does not cling to any of the dryness that I'm having. This just looks so freaking good. It feels like there's nothing on my skin because all the products, the cream blush, the serum, even this powder, everything feels so light and airy on the skin. It's very different for me. I've never felt this because I still feel like when I'm looking in the viewfinder, I feel like I have quite a bit of makeup on, but it feels so light and airy and like my skin can actually breathe. I'm still a little weirded out that they did a cream blush but a powder bronzer. Even though the bronzer is powder, it still works absolutely beautiful with this blush. All right, so now that we have everything on the skin, I'm actually going to go ahead and call the check-in time because we are doing a wear test here. Now it is 11:56. I have had this foundation on for a good 20-30 minutes now that I'm checking the recording time. So I am going to call the check-in time 11:30. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. All right, you guys, so I did the rest of my makeup and I wanted to keep it sparkly. Now, if you guys are ever wondering what's on my face in every video, I always leave it in the description box below, whether it's something that I'm reviewing or that I add to later on, like the rest of my makeup. So once again, check-in time is 11:30. I'm gonna go about the rest of my day and I'll see you guys in my first check-in. All right, so the time is now 3:40. So I've been wearing this for about 4 hours exactly. My mascara kind of got on my under eyes, so ignore that. But for the foundation, it looks so freaking good. I actually decided to set it after I left my filming area. I left it for about an hour and then I felt like, you know what, this might break down, so I'm going to add just a little bit of powder in certain areas. So I did add some powder on my T-zone right here, so like the forehead and down, and then I added a little bit of powder here in my smile lines, and even then it didn't over dry anything. It still looks really, really good. Look at that. And a little bit on the side of my nose is getting slightly cakey, but it's nothing that I'm like upset about or makes me feel any type of way, because a lot of other foundations that I've tried for 4 hours of wear, you guys have seen, it gets pretty cakey and dry and weird around the nose. So I really like the fact that this is a serum foundation because it did not cling to any of my dryness, and I think it's awesome because it still feels really, really good. I honestly feel like I still have nothing on my skin. It doesn't feel like it's breaking down or moving around. I do have some glasses marks because I do wear glasses, but I didn't set this area, so that's bound to kind of move around. As for this mascara, look at that, holy crap. As for the blush and the bronzer, I still have quite a bit of bronzer on my face, but I feel like the blush kind of faded. It's really weird. I have like no actual blush on my face. It's really strange. I have a little bit, but not as much as I did earlier. It's almost like it faded when I went outside, but the bronzer is still very much there. You can see it around my face there, and you can see a little bit of the blush, but really not that much. But you can definitely see the bronzer. So I'm not really sure what's the deal with the blush, but the bronzer still looks good and the foundation still looks really good. So I am actually gonna go and help my husband give all the dogs a bath. When I say all the dogs, my father-in-law has 2 boxers as well. So we have a total of 4 dogs that need baths. So I'm gonna go ahead and help him do that, wear this for as long as possible, and then I will see you guys in my final check. All right, so the time is now 9:39. So about 10 hours I've been wearing this foundation, and I actually just finished taking a shower because I completely forgot that I even had makeup on, and then I realized, oh shit, I forgot to do the last check-in and close out the video, so here I am. This foundation feels so lightweight and I didn't have any kind of issues with it. The only thing is that a lot of it has rubbed off, like on my nose area. Here it has broken down just a little bit, but really not that bad compared to other foundations that I've tried. You guys have seen some of those foundations and they look really, really funky. I'm gonna scoot up so you guys can see a closer look at my nose area and any of the creasing that I may have. I am really shocked because the sides of my nose are not extremely dry and cakey looking. I do agree that it looks a little bit cakey, but it's not as bad as some of these other medium full coverage foundations have been in the past. I'm so freaking sweaty. Even my forehead, it still looks smooth and glowy, and oh my god, you guys, I just really love this foundation because normally by the 5 or 6 hour mark I want to take the foundation off. It's looking very cakey and very dry around my nose, even on my chin crease, which does not look at half as bad as some other foundations that I've tried. Now, I will definitely be trying this foundation with other products because I want to see how it does with just powder blush and, you know, all the other kind of stuff, like different kind of concealers and setting powders and maybe even some setting spray. But as for this video, I'm wearing it for one time. I would definitely recommend this, especially if you're someone who is on the drier skin side like me. I just really love this foundation, and I think it's going to be one of my summer favorites because it just feels so lightweight and your skin just looks so good. It looks so healthy, so beautiful, so luminous and glowy, and I just really like that because it still looks like skin. It doesn't look like it's trying to mimic like a porcelain doll, and that's kind of the look that I've been going for lately. So if you guys are on the lookout for something that's good for dry skin, I would totally recommend looking into this. Also, for $22 and 1 fluid ounce, this is definitely something that I can say that I recommend. All right, you guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please hit a thumbs up and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when I upload my videos. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, or comments, leave them all in the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye. Now